Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I'd like to show you all the books that I got in May. Well, not all the books, because I did go to the Scholastic Warehouse sale in May, and I've already done a video for those books, so they will not be included in this haul. And after the Scholastic Warehouse sale, I went to a couple of used bookstores that were in the general area, and also to a Goodwill. And so I'll show you the books that I got that same day, but not at the Scholastic sale. Then I got a few books from a friend of mine who cleans out from estate sales, and a lot of those books I've already passed on, and a few my husband's putting on eBay, but the ones that I decided to keep for my own home library, I'll show you those, and just a couple of other random places. I actually ordered one on eBay, and I guess that was actually early June, but it's already here, so I'm going to show that to you. So the genres of this book haul are going to be pretty varied. I have a couple of nonfiction, I have a couple of middle grade. There are several that are cozy mysteries and several that are Christian fiction. There is one Christian nonfiction that a friend gave me as a gift, and then some women's fiction, and one fantasy, and then a couple of really old books. So let's get started. Now, after the Scholastic Warehouse sale, the first bookstore that I went to was a store north of Orlando called Best Used Books. I'd never been there before. I heard a coworker talking about it, and it was my first time there. It was a great store, but I didn't find anything that I really needed to add to my home library. So I did get one book for my daughter Emily. She was with me, and if you've heard me talk about her before, she's 16, but she has autism and epilepsy, and she reads on a very low reading level. So she picked out All About Dogs and Puppies by Laura Driscoll, and photographs are by Elizabeth Haythen. A lot of their children's books were very expensive. Like for a book like this, a lot of them were $4, but this one was only $2. So this was actually the one she chose out of several that she had pulled off the shelf, and this one fit the budget the best, so I was happy to get this for her. Then we went to another bookstore that I had been to before. It was called Bright Light Books, and I didn't get there in time to get to their overstock store. They have their main store that's open most every day, and then on Saturdays only they have a clearance store, but I didn't know it closed at 5, and we got there at 5:02, so I didn't get to go in there. But I went on down the street to their main store, and they usually have some clearance out front as well, and they had hardcovers for $1, or you could get 7 of them for $5. So I'd never gotten that deal before because I've never found enough in that section that I really wanted. But I started looking, and I did find a few cozy mysteries. So I kept looking until I found 7 that I was pretty happy with. Really, I could have lived with just getting 3 or 4, but I thought, why not take advantage of this deal? So I went ahead and found enough that I was happy with, that I did that $5 deal. And then I also found one other book inside the store, and it's a fantasy book, so I'll show you that one first. This is one of the few Robin Hobb books that I don't have yet. It's book 2 in the Tawny Man trilogy. It's Golden Fool, and I'm pretty sure I have the other 2 from this series in paperback. So this will complete that trilogy. So far by Robin Hobb, I've only read the Farseer trilogy. So the next trilogy you're supposed to read is the Live Ship Traders. But I have been just collecting these as I find them, and so I was happy to go ahead and complete this set. All right, I got 2 middle grade books. I picked up book 10 in the 39 Clues series. I did not have this. I have read it. I'm just trying to go ahead and complete the set of the original 39 Clues series. I'll probably eventually pass these on to my sister's grandson, and I did not have book 10. I think now the only one I need is book 8, and I will have this whole set. I have recently read book 11 in this series, and then started the next series, which is Cahills versus Vespers. So I've kind of gotten back into the 39 Clues world, and it's really a lot of fun. It's a very exciting series, and I think it's a great series for kids. It really can teach world geography because these kids in the story go all over the world, and I think it's just a fun and exciting adventure series. Then this book was in the books that my friend gave me who cleans out estate sales, so I decided to hang on to this for a little while because Katie hasn't read it, and I really think she should. This is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I think Katie could identify with the sister in this book because there's a whole section on her perspective, and since my youngest daughter Katie has had to deal with a lot of the things that siblings have to go through when a family has a special needs child. So I really think she ought to read this. I think this would give her a lot of good insight and maybe somebody that she could identify with. But so far, she hasn't been compelled to read it. Maybe it's because I want her to. I don't know. Maybe if I just leave it laying around, she'll eventually pick it up. I am now working for a lady who can't drive anymore, and so I drive for her 2 days a week to take her on errands and things like that. And she gave me this book the other day. She said that she really just sticks to reading her Bible these days and is not really interested in reading much other than that. So someone had given her this a while back, and she read some of it and decided that she wasn't going to finish it. So she asked if I'd like to have it, because I've told her quite often how much I love to read. So this is called Praying for My Life by Marion Bond West. The subtitle is Holding On to God's Promises No Matter What. And I have no idea what it's about other than what the title tells you, but she offered it to me and I graciously accepted it, and I will definitely take a second look at it. All right, I think I will do the women's fiction and the Christian fiction next, and then I'll finish up with Cozy Mysteries. So in the free stuff that we got from our friend who cleans out estate sales, there were 2 books by Grace Livingston Hill that are very old. I don't believe that these Grosset Dunlap editions are first editions, but they are probably the editions that made this author super popular in the Christian fiction world. Grace Livingston Hill is an author that I love. I've read a lot of her books. I've collected almost all of them in paperback, but I do have a few of these wonderful old hardcovers with the beautiful dust jackets, and I just love having them. This is The Gold Shoe, and I just think it's beautiful. Unfortunately, the dust jacket on the next one has a good section torn out of it, and I don't know if there's any way I can find the artwork and maybe try to make a copy so that I can cover the book or not. I don't know. But it's The Christmas Bride by Grace Livingston Hill. Thankfully, the naked hardcover has a nice design on it as well. So even if I just take off the dust jacket, that's fine. But it's so pretty that I really don't want to lose this. I don't want to throw it away. So I've got to try to figure out what I can do to try to save this dust jacket. All right, moving on to some newer Christian fiction. I was able to get the rest of the Home Ties trilogy. I already had book 3, which is Carry the Light. This trilogy is by Delia Parr, and at my own library, I found books 1 and 2. I believe that this is a contemporary trilogy. The first one is Abide With Me, and the second one is Day by Day. And as I said, I already have book 3, which is Carry the Light. And one thing that I did not notice till just now, it says fans of Jan Karen's enormously popular Mitford series should love Parr's work. So that's a bonus, because I am a huge fan of Jan Karen's Mitford series. So I hopefully will enjoy these as well. This is one of the 7 hardcover books that I got for $5 at the used bookstore. This is 12 Golden Threads, Lessons for Successful Living from Grandma's Quilt. Let me type in the author's name so I don't mispronounce it, but this looks really nice. I believe this book is just made up of some little inspirational short stories and vignettes that have a quilting theme. I can't remember where I found this now, but I was excited to find it because I've been trying to collect this series by Lori Copeland and Angela Hunt. The series is called Heavenly Days, and I had books 1, 2, and 5. This is book 4, A Perfect Love, so I just need to find book 3, and I'll have the whole series. Well, it's been raining on and off here today, so the sun has just gone behind the clouds. It's probably going to rain some more, so there's nothing I can do about the decrease in lighting. I'm just going to forge ahead. A few other women's fiction books that are not Christian per se, but hopefully most of them are clean and books that I will enjoy. I got 2 Emily Richards books. I have started collecting her books. I'm actually reading her Shenandoah album series this month. I'm in the middle of book 2 right now, and so I bought book 3 on eBay. It's a 5-book series, and I already own books 1, 2, 4, and 5, and I really wanted to complete the series. I was able to get this beautiful hardcover edition. It's not a library edition. It's beautiful. It has no stickers or writing or anything on it, and it's gorgeous. I think really this is the prettiest one of all 5 of them. When I get done with the series, I'll do a series review and show you all the covers. They're just gorgeous, and I really worked hard to find hardcover editions for all of these because I wanted them for my shelf. And so now I am reading book 2, and I plan to read this one this month as well. This one is called Lover's Knot. They take place in Virginia in the Shenandoahs, and so far I'm really enjoying the series. And then I found a mass market paperback edition of One Mountain Away. I got this, I believe, at the Goodwill that I went to on the same day as I went to the Scholastic sale. And I don't know anything about this one. It says that it's part of the Goddesses Anonymous series. It looked really pretty, and so I'm excited to add it to my Emily Richards collection. And then I got 2 books by Jodie Thomas. I really loved the first book in the Harmony series, and I really can't wait to read some more of those. So I went ahead and picked up Wild Horse Springs. This is part of the Ransom Canyon series. I do have at least one other of the books in this series, but I'm not going to start reading it until I read more of the Harmony series. And then I got Wild Texas Rose. This is part of the Whispering Mountain series. Alright, I think most of the rest that I have left are cozy mysteries. I've got one that's not cozy, but it's a mystery, and I got it free from my friend who cleans out estate sales. And it's not one that I had really thought about reading, but since I got it free, I decided to go ahead and keep it. It's In the Woods by Tana French. I don't know if it's Tana or Tana. This says that it takes place in Dublin. I decided to keep it because this past March I was doing a readathon that had a challenge to read a book that had Irish elements. So I thought, you know, if that rolls around again next year, I'm going to need a different book to read. So since this one has Irish elements and it's a mystery, I need this for next year because I'm going to be reading for March Mystery Madness, and I made it an Irish book. So this will be on my March 2018 TBR. Alright, so I think the rest of these are going to be cozy mysteries. I picked up a Kate Carlisle book. This is the second book in the Bibliophile mystery series. I've read the first one and enjoyed it, and I have a couple of other books that are farther down the series, but this is book 2. I think I paid 35 cents for this at a library bookstore that is in my county, and I was excited to get it. Then I picked up book 10 in the Tea Shop mystery series by Laura Childs. It's called Oolong Dead. I have almost all of this series now, and hopefully we'll get around to reading the rest of this series pretty soon. I had not heard of this one, but it was in the batch of books that I got free from my friend, and it is the first in a series. It says it's a book group mystery by Maggie King. It's called Murder at the Book Group. And since it's the first in a series, I thought, great, at least I don't have to look for some other book before I can read it. So I didn't mind adding it to my shelves. I found an addition to one of the Cozy Mystery series that I'm actively reading this year. It's the Aunt Dimity series, and I found Aunt Dimity and the Lost Prince. The series is by Nancy Atherton. I don't read a lot of paranormal, but this is really paranormal light, and they're just adorable so far. I think I've read 5 of them now. This is book 18, so it'll be a little while before I get to this one, but I found this on the clearance rack at the bookstore where I bought 7 hardcovers for $5. And I got this in that same place. Now, I'm trying to only add books to my shelf that are part of series that I'm already reading or that I'm already collecting, but I needed one more book to get up to 7, so I went ahead and got this one. It's not The Killing Type. It's a Booktown mystery by Lorna Barrett. And same goes for these. I cheated. Again, I got these at that same place. I do have a cozy mystery book by Susan Conant, and this is co-written with her and maybe her daughter, Jessica Conant Park. I got Fed Up and Cook the Books. These are from the Gourmet Girl mystery series. And then the main reason that I bought that batch of books in the first place was because of the Aunt Dimity book, and also because of the Monica Ferris books. Now, I'm not actively reading this series right now. I have read the first one, but I have been collecting them because my own library has culled out quite a few of these, and I've been collecting them. I started out just getting them in paperback, but then I keep finding really nice copies of the hardcover editions, so I went ahead and started adding those to my collection. These are needlecraft mysteries. Book 17 is The Drowning Spool, and I got also Darned If You Do. So then a few days later, my husband was going through all the books that we have set aside for eBay, and I noticed this book in the pile, and I said, hold on a minute, let me make sure I have that book on my shelf. Well, I didn't, and so I decided to pull it back out of the eBay box and keep it. This is book 16 in the same series, And Then You Die. And I think I had given this to my husband for eBay initially because at that time I was collecting only paperbacks, and I've since then decided just to go ahead and keep some hardcovers. So I didn't realize that when I gave him this one that I didn't have the paperback of this. But I'm glad that he didn't sell it because this almost finishes out the series for me. I only have 1 or 2 more that I don't have. So I was excited, and I need to get back into this series. I already have several Cozy Mystery series that I'm actively reading this year, but maybe by next year or the year after I will get back into this one. I will show you one book that I got at the Scholastic Warehouse sale because it's an adult book, and in case you don't watch any of my middle grade stuff, I wanted to include it in this haul as well. I got The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katarina Byvald. This is translated from Swedish by Alice Menzies. I am super excited to read it. It is on one of my lists of 17 to read for this year, and I'm excited to have my own copy now. That's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.